Run, hide, heal, repair.
Repeat is necessary, running through the night air. Hide behind that tree, heal your scratches. Repair that motor in patches. Dodge, weave, and run. Drop what you're doing, gotta hide. Can't fight, gotta make it to daylight. Hooks and gibbets, man, this is the pits. Have a little fire, but that was its cue to come and make a pyre. Forced to play a game, trying to tame its flame. All we wanted to do was have a little fire, but that was its cue to come and make a pyre. Forced to play a game, trying to tame its flame. Run, hide, heal, repair. Repeat is necessary, running through the night air. Hide behind that tree, heal your scratches. Repair that motor in patches. The stress is on, crouch. Look about, is that a couch? What have we here? This is something so odd. I was just a normal person, now I gotta run. Flee, sneak, bind, fix. How did we get to the sticks? Well, can't say we haven't given our licks. Now there is some chainsaw holding hicks. Watch your feet, a trapper is in the mix. I thought all I had to worry about was tits. Think, sneak, sneak, bind, fix, 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 fix. The stress is high, running through the sticks. I hope I don't have to say goodbye. What is going on? Why are there gibbets to be put on? The shape is just watching. From the shadows a chuckle. Is that a clown just asking something unknown? Dragging its knuckles from this dream I can't escape. This entity is looking down my nape. Is that a horn I hear gently lifting my fear? Gotta get my butt in gear, I am getting out of here. Heart beats fast, someone is near. The door is open, we all cheer. Around the fire, taken in the autumn mist. One looks up and points. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are being watched. Did anyone see that? I think we are
Hello, everyone. How are we doing this evening? I hope we're fine. I hope we're doing well. I hope we've all had a wonderful day. And this, hopefully, will cap it off. So, not to talk on the subject at the moment, but something that I had just thought about. And I thought it was quite the doozy. And it's also, and here's a shocker to most of you, actually probably to all of you, it's kind of made me excited for Avengers Doomsday. Because I saw a theory about Doomsday and how it's an origin story. It's basically Thanos in reverse. We didn't get any lead up, we didn't get anything like that because this is his origin. This is where he starts. And it's an origin for Doom. But how can that be? He's already super powerful. Because this isn't Doom. This really is Tony. That's why it's RDJ. There's parallels to Doom and to Tony Stark. And I think that's an interesting... Now, keep in mind, this is a theory. So, basically, the whole premise is Doom's lost his wife and child. Well, when... Soup. Sup, Green Jeans? How you doing? Here's a shocker for you. I have a theory about Doomsday, and it actually kind of makes me excited for it. I already ran the ad, you stupid thing. Whatever. Okay, so last time we saw Tony was at the Snap. He does his, I'm Iron Man, and goes out. Okay. Well, what did he lose at that point? Like, from his perspective. I mean, not just his life, but he left behind his wife and kid. Doomsday, sorry, not Doomsday, Doom is mad because he lost his wife and kid. Not just that, but he lost his whole world. So, there's something you might want to know about the Infinity Stones. Dr. Doom. Actually, no, he didn't. He did not earn his PhDs. Most of those are actually honorary because if you remember in his origin, he dropped out of college before he succeeded. He also went to the Sorcerer, or to the Ancient One to learn magic. And stopped before he was the Sorcerer Supreme because he technically had the skill. So, technically, he hasn't earned either one. But anyway, we're not talking about Doom, we're talking about Tony. Yes, I do think that this Doom is really Tony, because the Infinity Stones pick up on unconscious desire. And this would actually fix one of the biggest things that I had a problem with, is that Tony's a survivor among everything else. And it picked up on his subconscious desire to survive. So it shunted him off somewhere. I don't really have a theory on that yet, on where. I have a few ideas. And yes, I know, his body was left behind. Well, Mind Stone is part of the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity Stones. So his mind went someplace else. He survived no matter what. You know, think about what he's trying to do. He's trying to bring back the world he knew. What was his last memories? A battle. He wants to bring all of his friends together, battle world, and put them all back together. I think Doom is going to realize that Tony is going to realize that he's Doom, but not Doom. I think that's what the two movies are all about. Is him realizing he's not who he thinks he is. That's my theory. My theory is that this is the displaced consciousness of Tony Stark. Memory's not intact. Well, Latveria is probably a thing. It's probably what he was, where he was. Like, let's be honest, that's probably exactly what happened. Is that he thinks he's doomed. He went to, wherever the Fantastic Four are from. Oh, wait. But in the leaked preview, you have Sue Storm saying she didn't know what happened to Victor. That this isn't the Victor she knew. Because there's one thing that he's always been in almost every comic book. He has never been mean or cruel to Sue. Because he's always loved her in a manner, in his own way. So I think that this Doom, who we're seeing here, is just a time and mind displaced Tony Stark with fragmented memories of who he thought he was. Now, the reason why I say this is because I was watching a video on a breakdown of the 2099 universe in Marvel Comics. And this kind of happens to Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom. They get forwarded to 2099, and their memories get mixed up in the process. And for a while, Reed thinks he's doomed. And I'm wondering if they're using that concept for this. That Tony thinks he's doomed, and he's trying to find a wife and child, because in the comics, Doom never had a wife and child. It was his mom. He sold his mom's soul to the devil for his magic. Some of it. And that's always been like one of the cruxes, is that he's upset at himself for doing that. Because Doom's not truly, he's a villain, but he's not a true villain. He's not Joker. He's not Norman Osborn. In the Marvel Universe, he may actually just be the last hope of mankind. So it's one of those things that, because we know that it's only these next two movies. He's only doing, Doomsday and Secret Wars? Yeah, of course we want Doombot spies. There's a whole lot of them. Okay, in reality, he wants to take over the world because he thinks he's the only person that's fit for the job. The problem is he might be right. Let's be honest, the problem is that he very well might be right. But I'm just saying that it sounds exactly like something Marvel would do, like the MCU would do, to make you think Tony's gone. They had the funeral, everything like that, but he's not really. This would be just the kind of sleight of hand they would do. Make Tony Stark into Doom, but it's not, he doesn't really realize what he is because of the effects of the Infinity Gauntlet. And he's working on a twisted desire and twisted memories of bringing everything back together. Bringing it all back together. Yes, exactly. Yes. But see, that's not the only time that he's been told he's right. There have been several cosmic entities that have decided to try and kill him and realize that's a bad idea. That for some reason, he's a linchpin. But that's in the comics, that's not in the MCU. I'm just saying that it's actually kind of got me excited about Doomsday, because if this is truly the origin of Doom, we're not seeing the real Doom yet. This isn't Doom. It is, but it isn't. And it sounds exactly like something they would do to get everybody back in their seats. And this time I actually kind of agree with them. It's the only thing I can think of why they're throwing so much money at this movie. Because this is the lead up. This isn't the crescendo. This is the lead up to the real Doom. This is a shadow of what Doom could be. You know, and they have comic book fans like me looking at it thinking, you don't start with God Emperor Doom. The God Emperor of Doom. Anyway, that's actually for later. That's why it's on my mind. You start with hundreds of millions to relaunch the MCU. Think about it. What are the only movies that have been announced that are set in stone post Secret Wars? Ghost Rider and Black Panther. Black Panther had to be recast, so it's a new Black Panther. But is it a whole new continuity of Black Panther? And Ghost Rider hadn't been really used in the MCU. I mean, unless you count S.H.I.E.L.D., but then again, they threw out the later seasons of S.H.I.E.L.D. out of the MCU, so... You know, that doesn't really count. So... Okay, what is it? No, that was Secret Invasion. Marvel naming convention gets a little confusing. The one with Samuel Jackson was Secret Invasion, not Secret Wars. This, I think, is the Secret Wars, where all the heroes have to battle it out. You know, they comprise battle. They should have just called it Battle World. Be a lot easier for people to pay attention to. But I really think that my theory's sound because of the parallels between Tony Stark and his death and Dr. Doom and his life. You see what I mean? Because when Tony Stark died, he lost his wife and kid. Doom, because he left his wife and kid behind. Doom lost his wife and child. They're dead. The parallels are there. You know, the mirroring is there. And I really think that that's what they're doing. You know, they're actually kind of putting a few of the Doctor Doom and Iron Man plot lines in a blender. And they've come up with this. So, cool. Let's see. Not full Iron Maiden. And somebody really failed when they didn't call a hero that. You know, FE, the symbol for iron. Male, iron male. But it's female, so female. Sorry, to me that's just like, that should have been somebody. Because it's spelled, you know, like chainmail. Yes, I know. Okay, I know what you mean. Because there actually was, in the comics for a short time, a villain, a female villain, named Iron Maiden. And there's also the band Iron Maiden. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Oh, sorry, I just had to get that off my chest because I just thought of that right before stream about Dr. Doom and the parallels between what Tony Stark left behind when he died and what Dr. Doom lost that sent him on this path. And like the parallels of trying to bring everything back together, Battle World. Because what if Iron or Dr. Doom can stop? Hello, Infinite. What if Dr. Doom can stop Stormbreaker? Because Stormbreaker knows what he is. That it's not Dr. Doom, it's really Tony Stark. And what if that's why Thor's so scared? Because I almost guarantee you, that whole fight with Dr. Doom is going to be very early on in the movie, regardless of the leaks and the plot leaks. I think that fight between Thor and Doom is going to go early. They're going to have that fight, and that's what makes Thor scared. That's what sends him on the quest to unify all these heroes, not realizing that Stormbreaker stops because it's not Doom. I don't know, that's me. That it's really Tony Stark underneath that armor. Like, not just RDJ, but it's really Tony Stark, who, when he snapped, subconsciously sent his at least consciousness someplace else. And that displaced his, Doom, or they meshed with Doom's subconscious. Just saying. It actually kind of makes me excited for Doomsday. Because it all suddenly makes sense. But now I have something to read you all. I did write something for tonight. Possibly, yes. So, on to the actual topic of tonight. We can revert back to that later, but I actually worked pretty hard on this last night. So, the actual title of today's stream is The Museum of Obsolescence. Which I may or may not have spelled obsolescence wrong, but whatever. It doesn't look right to me, but it doesn't have the red squiggly line underneath of it, so I assume I spelled it right. What will we define this decade by? And what will define us in this decade? We have not really advanced things culturally. We have been regurgitating the same thing over and over again. This is an era of repetition, characterized by endless reboots, sequels, and an obsession with, archival aesthetics. This suggests a deeper problem, a crisis of originality. And when a generation is defined more by its consumption of the past than its creation of the future, we risk becoming a museum culture. One that prioritizes the comfort of the familiar over the friction of the new. And this constant consumption of recycled media forces us into a state of, perpetual preservation. This very act of curation is mistaken for the act of creation. We have become archivists of our own obsolescence. We are meticulously cataloging the artifacts of previous eras while neglecting the vital and messy work of invention. And in this environment, we are simultaneously the curators of the past and victims of infinite reruns. Trapped in a feedback loop where the ghosts of yesterday occupy the space intended by tomorrow's pioneers. And by choosing safety of the known, we are inadvertently surrendering our agency to a feedback loop that rewards recognition over revelation. The risks of stagnation are not merely artistic, but existential. Cultural evolution in the engine is the engine of social progress. It provides the metaphors and myths we need to navigate contemporary challenges. And breaking the cycle of repetition, we must embrace the discomfort of the avant-garde, of the unknown, of the unproven. We need to move beyond our nostalgia. We need to begin the difficult work of building something new. New frameworks, new linguistics, visual, conceptual. These things should reflect our unique complexities that are presented in our own time. Our stagnation is further complicated by the paradox of creator culture. Ostensibly, this promises a platform for radical individual expression, often often this stifles true innovation by incentivizing the imitation of past successes. Algorithms and market demands pressure the creators to act as a mere optimization of established tropes, rather than visionaries who effectively automate. We are effectively automating cultural stagnation. By prioritizing the predictability of the known, to ensure our engagement, the system rewards the derivative, leaving genuine originality to wither in the margins of a landscape designed for the algorithmic echo chamber. But to call it an echo chamber implies that it is our own voices bouncing back at us, which, well, the reality is far more insidious. We have bought into the great myth of modern internet, the predictive algorithm. We treat it as if it's omniscient intelligence, as if it is an omniscient intelligence that learns our deepest desires. We trust that the For You page is a mirror reflecting our unique individualized tastes. In truth, the algorithm is no longer predicting what we want. It is dictating what we are allowed to see. It's a funnel, not a mirror. When we scroll through a feed filled with content that people like you supposedly have watched, you aren't experiencing an organic community or a shared cultural zeitgeist. You are walking through a strip mall. A digital one, but a strip mall nonetheless. And much of what is presented as algorithmic serendipity is paid for advertisements or paid for placements. The illusion of choice is maintained by feeding us a curated menu where every item has been subsidized by a corporate interest or platform agenda. It is the exact same lie sold to us by smart advertising. We are conditioned to believe these ads are terrifyingly intelligent, hyper-targeted, because they somehow know us in our souls. But they aren't smart. They're pushed onto us with brute force. We know what we really should call that, but I'm not supposed to say it. Their visibility is dictated entirely by the sheer weight of the ad dollars. The intelligence of the system is a facade, a convenient narrative masking the financial leverage of the highest bidder. Ultimately, we are not the curators of our feeds. We are the inventory. And by trapping us in a loop of recycled nostalgia and artificially promoted content, the algorithm hasn't just paused our cultural evolution, it has monetized the very stagnation of it. It sells us the comfort of our own past while quietly auctioning off our access to the future. If you want a framework, let me give you an example. Look at Frank Herbert's God Emperor of Doom. In it, Leto II forces humanity down what he calls the golden path. And for thousands of years, he is enforcing a state of absolute oppressive tranquility. He traps humanity in a sociological hole, restricting their movement and their culture, purely so that the pressure will build to a boiling point. The ultimate goal of the golden path is so humanity will eventually violently reject this stagnation, scattering across the universe with a permanent genetic resistance to ever being controlled that way again. Literally ingrained in the bones. Right now, we are forced down this digital golden path. We are being compressed into a cultural hole of homogenized algorithmic predictability. The difference? We're not really resisting. Most of us are sleepwalking through the oppression. comfortable in our curated feeds. But maybe, just maybe, we are reaching the boiling point. And to break out, we first have to recognize a harsh truth about the modern digital existence. A life lived entirely inside this ecosystem is a wasted life. And content creation is genuinely worthy pursuit. There is a prerequisite that an entire generation has forgotten. Before you can create something of value, you must first have lived a life to understand what is worthy of creation. That is the root of the stagnation. The vast majority of people feeding this algorithm haven't actually lived. They haven't really worked a real job, nor even really existed outside this digital box. But we all know that imitation is a natural stepping stone. You mimic the artist you admire, but just long enough to find your own unique voice. What happens when you have no outside experience to draw from? Today's creators didn't just grow up watching YouTube or Twitch. They grew up watching the exact same few creators. Sure, they went to school and had friends, but the creative framework, their cultural vocabulary was built entirely by watching the same handful of lucky pioneers. And because they've had no life outside of consuming their favorite creators, they have no unique perspective to synthesize.
Ale, hydrate.
Now I lost where I was. They have nothing new to say. The algorithm demands a product, and so they create. But it all ends up feeling samey. At its core, it is exactly the same. We are watching a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy of a... It's slowly degrading into static. And I really mean static. I mean that literally. So, a lot of people don't really know or barely have a concept of what true radio static really is. So, it isn't just emptiness. It isn't just the radio trying to find a signal. Static is the overlapping of countless electromagnetic signals, layered one on top of the other over and over and over again until it's just noise, a background radiation. And that is exactly what is happening to these photocopies of creators. They are layering over the top of each other. They're becoming nothing but a hum, a series of copies where the original names are forgotten, the ideas are drowned out, and whatever uniqueness they might have once possessed is boiled off in this stew of algorithmic optimization. Every interesting bit of them gets sanded down just so they can fit perfectly into the mold of the creator who came before them. Really? Really? All right. I don't want that. In fact, I am actively resisting the molding. I don't need to be more palatable. I want to retain my jagged edges, my sharp tongue, my blunt thoughts. Because those things make me, well, me. I got into this purely by luck. A friend, Ghost, asked me if I wanted to play. He already had an audience. I streamed with them. And I loved it. I loved the hell out of it. Still do it. And so I fired up my own Twitch. I've been trying to get a channel off the ground on YouTube for a while because I knew I wanted to leave at least some kind of fingerprint online. But this is something completely different. It reminded me of when I used to sit at Denny's late at night, just having conversations with random people. The topics would bounce all over the place, entirely dependent on who was in the booth and what they actually knew. I've talked to police officers, truckers, high school dropouts, college grads, and even some people with PhDs. I learned so much from the friction of these different lives. And I hope they learned something from mine. That is the exact energy I want to bring to the online world. I'm 46, next week 47. I've raised 2 kids, 2 adulthood. They're out of the house. I've worked, plenty of real jobs, and I hope that I have enough lived-in experience to bring a unique flavor to the space. And, well, that's what I want you guys to take away from these nights. A little seed of something more, something real, cutting through the curated digital noise. We have to learn to tune out the static. We have to stop sanding down our edges just to fit a machine's idea of what we should be. We have to continue being us. Not trying to become something that's palatable to people. If you're not palatable to the person, not your problem. It might feel personal. Like it might be the most personal thing in the world. They personally don't like you. But it's not your fault and it's not their fault. There's nothing wrong with somebody just not liking you. Now, if they're antagonistic towards you, that's a different matter. But you can be around a person that you don't necessarily like, be polite, but you just don't extend the hand. You don't try to get to know them better because you just don't mesh. You walk away and you hope they do the same thing. You don't have to be liked. You know, I don't know how to describe it. That you have to be strong enough in yourself to know where you stand, to know who you are. That it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't like you for you. Now, it should matter that if you're changing yourself for someone and they still don't like you, maybe you should have stayed yourself. But yeah, that's the end of the script. It was the end of the script a while ago. But yeah, I mean, that's the point. The point is that, and what got me to thinking about this is I watched Atozi, and he did a video on Streamer University. And it got me to thinking, if I ever got big enough to be invited to be a professor of Streamer University, what would I tell people? Well, I tell them exactly what I just said. You know, that's what got me down this path. That's what got me to looking at this and writing these thoughts down. The point is that you have to learn to be yourself. You have to be you. And if people don't like it, maybe it's not for you. But you shouldn't change yourself. Hell, I think that's what leads to most of your online creator burnout. And it's one of the things that pisses me off so much about some of these creators who, oh, just do this, just do that. It's like, it's not that easy. For some of these people, that's not really them. You're telling them not to be themselves. When the best thing you can be is for yourself. How many people are online? What, 4 or 5 billion? Somewhere, some place in the world, there's somebody, probably, I mean, hell, I'd even take 0.01% of that number as followers. That'd be more than I ever dreamed of. No, for those in the back, that's 1,000th of a billion. Which, if my brain is correct, is about 100,000. Or it's 1 million, I don't know. Sorry, 4. That's still a lot of people. You know, I mean, that's the thing that you really have to understand is that you don't need a lot. You just need to be you. And if that works out, that works out. You know, if enough people find you, that's great. I don't know. Any thoughts? Any things that you guys agree, disagree? You know, it's hard to explain, but you know, putting that out there is actually rather difficult. Because I know that it's not It's not what people want to hear. They don't want to hear that they're participating in a lack of a better term, a mummer's dance. Mimicking things over and over and over again. I mean, we all do it. We all look for the same few videos that we've watched a dozen times. You know, and we're told that, oh, that's good, that's good, that's good. But when was the last time you saw anything new? When did you click on something that you weren't sure if you'd like it or not? When did you take a chance? You know, I mean, obviously, some of you took a chance, you're still here. You know, and I know that's a big deal to me. The people are still here. But I also know that outside of that, a lot of us don't. And I may not even be talking specifically to chat here. You know, I'm talking more of the general outside world. I mean, look at how many live streamers do the same thing over and over again. You know, and they're streaming sometimes 10 hours a day. And they're basically doing the same thing they did the day before. You know, how many of them are doing it out of habit? Not because they really want to anymore. They're doing it out of religiosity. You know, it's because it's what I did yesterday. But did they ever really live a life? You know, do they really live a life that has something to say? Do they even believe what they're saying? You know, are they saying it because it's acceptable? Are they saying it because it's controversial? But how much really say it because it's what they mean? You know, and that's the problem with the internet world, is how much we do things to get a rise, to get a reaction, because we're trained to seek engagement. You know, that's what we're looking for. And we can't sustain this. I mean, some of those Streamer University clips are absolutely dog water. These are the people that are getting the boost. People that scream and yell and do shocking things. When are they going to realize that people aren't watching for them? They're waiting how long this lasts before they implode, before they pull a Johnny Somali or a Jack Doherty or any number of other streamers that have just imploded. You know, they're watching this for the ridiculousness this person does. And the problem is that it's kind of a two-way street, because they think you're ridiculous for watching them. Neither side of this window respects the other side. They don't even know what that means. You know, I mean, I know there's plenty of people that respect Markiplier, that respect Jacksepticeye. And those individuals respect them. They respect their people. They show it time and time again. They end up taking a break, you know, not recording. And then when they come back, you know, they try to make it the best they can, because they respect their followers. They can't individually respond to them, but they respect them. And so they constantly try to give them the best they can. And when they don't feel like they can, they don't. I remember for a time, Markiplier was recording videos in a bathtub because it had the best sound quality in the place he was renting at the time. He looked uncomfortable as hell. But that was the sacrifice he made to give you the best quality you could get. That shows respect. Then you have these other people, mostly streamers, but other people, that record in these, big stages, big rooms, they show off all of this loot they have from their streamer life. And most of it's a sham, most of it's fake. That's the thing that bothers me, is that these people don't realize, that their chat doesn't realize, that most of that is fake. Fake fandom stuff. Like, they'll have a bunch of animes in the background. I doubt they've ever read one. They know how to reference them, though, for chat. You notice I hardly ever reference anime? Because I don't know enough. I don't fake like I'm a big anime fan. Like, I watched anime back in the day. And back in the day, I mean like 20 some odd years ago. In my early 20s. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm hip, I still read it. No, I really don't. In fact, I haven't participated much in pop culture for probably a decade and a half. I haven't really cared. There's been nothing that's really called to me. Other than the same Marvel plot over and over again with the different faces. It's sad because, some of the movies are good, but it's the same plot over and over again. But it's not just Marvel. I'm picking on Marvel, but it's not just Marvel. It's pick one. Look at the movies that just broke the internet. Or not the internet, but broke movies, broke Hollywood. Iron Lung, Obsession, Backrooms. Only one of those was... Okay, two of them were existing properties. One was an obscure video game that was obscure only until Markiplier started playing it. Otherwise, it was pretty damned obscure. But it had such a storyline that it captured one creator's heart, and he made a whole movie of it. And a damn good one. I don't think a lot of people realize how hard it is to carry a movie on your shoulders. Limited acting, very limited acting credits. I think he was only in a few other things. And that was way back when. Then he did his own stuff. And then he did Edge of Sleep. And then he did Iron Lung. I can probably count on one hand how many properties he's actually been part of. And I think people don't understand that that's unique. That kind of dedication to your craft, that kind of dedication to what you're doing. Yes. All because CGI fluid takes so much, if it was a rocky scene, would have been much cheaper to just do it in CGI. CGI fluids? To make fluid look real, that's a big deal. Didn't mean to make a rhyme. But, and welcome back. I don't know how long you've been back. I'm just saying that a lot of people don't understand, and not me as a creator. This stuff is easy for me. But I'm also not doing it for 10 hours a day. I get something in my head that I want to talk about. I write my thoughts out, and then I tell them to you. Try to organize it in some kind of cohesive framework. And then I tell it to you and ask your opinion. And it's hard to explain how do I put this? How much I see that happens online that people pay attention to that, well, frankly, I'm going to be your dad. For a second, your internet dad. You shouldn't be doing it. Hell, most of that stuff is so repetitious, it's not even funny. I mean, it's why I'm kind of slowing down on the video games, because I realized that most of the video games I was playing, were the same video game over and over again. Most of those one-shot horror games that we all like, we shouldn't. There's nothing new about them. They're not really doing anything great. There's a few diamonds in the rough, like Chilla's art. Chilla's art is good. But for the most part, they're just the same story. You know, you've got to, like, okay. Radiolite really wasn't that unique of a story. It was the art style and the mechanics of, you don't really use a weapon, you use a radio to defeat the boss. That was cool. But it doesn't really tell a unique story. There's nothing really unique about it. It's done in a unique way. That makes it worthy. But a lot of these other ones, I mean, watching Ghost and Raven play the Resident Evils, I don't know how Resident Evil maintained popularity. It looks like the same game over and over again. The same basic plot line. I'm sorry to say that. I don't mean to be, you know, shitting in your cornflakes, but what was it? We watched them play Resident Evil 5, whatever, the boulder punching one. You know, and it's the same basic progression. Fight little zombies, get big zombies, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's the same thing over and over again. You know, most of your movies out there are the same basic thing. You know, it's come down to such a formula that movies have subverted your expectations by giving you what you expect. Like, there's no twist because you're expecting a twist. So it's just what you thought it was in the beginning, which works once and then it's cheap. I mean, and I think that's why horror movies are making such a comeback, or thrillers, or whatever you want to call them, because some of them aren't true horror. Like, I don't consider The Backrooms a horror movie. That was a thriller. That was, it kept you on the edge of your seat. But it wasn't true horror. Obsession, now that was a horror movie. That one was all the way through. Iron Lung, again, it was a thriller. It kept you on the edge of your seat. It kept you tense. But it wasn't about jump scares. It wasn't about, you know, unsettling you. It was about you're in the seat next to this person, or you're walking through the back rooms with this person, and you're experiencing it along with them, all this tension, all this dread. We're not getting too much of that anymore. You know, you watch the MCU movies, and I hate to keep picking on the MCU movies, but for the last almost 20 years now, guys, it's all that's really been there. I mean, when was the last time in history that you had a 20-year span of a movie series? You know, this whole connected world that made this many movies. I mean, yeah, we can say James Bond. Well, James Bond didn't do it the same way. It wasn't a connected storyline. You could pick up any James Bond with just the base level knowledge of who James Bond is. He's a British super spy. You know, and this is the next super villain he's going after. Okay, cool. In the MCU, you kind of have to know what went on before so that you can pick up what's going on. That makes it really difficult. it makes it really difficult to keep that momentum going. You know, and I've probably judged them too harshly, but I mean, especially since I've been rewatching the MCU, you know, they're not as bad as I remember. They're not as egregious as I remember. Some of them are just plain bad. Some of them get more hate than they deserve. I will give you that. Because Black Widow was a solid movie. But I think it got so much hate because it wasn't that hype MCU, oh, we set the bar so high that now everything has to be. I think it's people's expectations on that end that have gone too far. That's my feelings on it anyway. And I think the other side of it is that people are watching it with expectations. You know, I mean, we expect, because that's what we're trying to do. We have these expectations of what it's supposed to be, and we're ruining it for ourselves. We're making the experience worse. I made the experience worse for myself because I had set expectations for the MCU that were untenable. They weren't able to maintain these because, you know, you can't do a shot-for-shot remake of the comics. I knew that back when I watched the X-Men. I mean, we just don't talk about X-Men 2. That one was that the right one? Maybe it was 3. I think it was, whichever was the worst one, but then they picked it back up afterwards. No, I think it was 3. 3 was the bad one. Where for some reason they made Juggernaut a mutant, and he was never a mutant. But anyway, I had fun watching those movies. Can I go back and watch them now and go, oh my God, those were bad? Somewhat. Are they a product of their time? Unfortunately, yes. And even back then, we all complained about the black leather suits. I will tell you that right now. I was there, I was in the theater watching them, and we all complained about the black leather suits. Nobody complained about Blade. I'm sorry, Blade was awesome. Blade 1 specifically, the original Blade movie. But I mean, the Blade Trinity, 1, 2, and 3, they were all solid vampire movies. What more were you expecting? I mean, oh yeah, it was definitely a movie of its time. But here's the thing, Green Jeans. If if Blade never happened and you released Blade, you know, that same Blade, just move it forward, what is it, almost 30 years now? Moved it forward 30 years. And you put it in theaters today. Same quality, same everything. People love it. Okay, Spawn was definitely a movie of its time. As much as I loved the Spawn movie, I was, 16 when it came out? Oh my God, I had no right. Like, that movie was a product of its time. But there's something about Blade that made it timeless. You know, a vampire, a half vampire hunting vampires, a daywalker. It's a vampire flick. Honestly, me personally, I don't know how, what's the later series, vampire movies that got all the love, which I thought were just, like the first couple were pretty good. It was Rise of the Lycans. What was it called? My buddy's gonna kill me because they're like his favorite movie series, but that's just because he has a crush on the lead actress. Oh man. Anyway, there was a series of vampire movies, and well, vampire, werewolf, you know, World of Darkness style vampire movies that got all this love, and yeah, the first couple were pretty good. And then they just got cheesy as hell. Like, they were just, they were movies. I don't know. You know, I mean, it's hard to explain, but yeah. You know, I think that we need to really, really look back on what we're doing these days. And really think about what we want to support, who we want to be, and what we want to see that defines this era. This time. I mean, we got a slow start to 2020 to 2029. You know, this decade was really kneecapped. And we're kind of going over halfway through it now. We really need to think about how we want to define this era. But anyway, I will be right back.
Puts us on the brink. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Once you see things clearly, that the clouds of feeling stop the how could this happen to me? And watch for the opportunity in the wings. That is when the bad becomes good. That is how you hear the knock on wood. We never know the door closed. We only know that it is. Now what are we supposed to do with our miss? Look for the window of chance. That is how we learn to dance.
They said it works, they didn't lie. They just forgot to say why. Every shortcut cuts both ways. Every favor keeps the name. Power answers when I call, but it never comes alone. I feel it watching when I move, counting every rule I bend. Black doesn't care what I survive, it only choose to bend. The road can erase every wind that maps your face. It hits harder 'cause more crane tells the road what you've been. Fixers talking half no names, hunters trading numbered claims. Every use redraws the line between what's yours and what's now mine. I feel faster, feel complete, but every shadow knows my feet. You don't vanish using black, you just light a different track. They don't chase the loud or proud, they too quietly. It makes sure the world shows.
Walking through the change when seasons go from summer's yellow to the gold of the fall. Yet blue is the color that makes it fuller. Blue is calm and recharge. It makes me feel in charge. The wind blows through the trees, clear autumn sky.
And I'm back. So, now that you guys have had a little bit of time to digest what I've said, what do you think? What do you think about what it means? How do you want to go moving forward? I mean, do you believe the actions you've taken are the only actions you could have taken? Do you believe following the recommendations of an algorithm are the best idea? Because, I mean, sure, if it was truly an algorithm that was finding stuff that truly mattered to you, it would be worth it. But with the weight of the algorithm being pushed towards financial gain, which, I mean, you can't really blame the companies, it's how the system's rigged. Maybe we can kind of break the algorithm by pushing our boundaries of what we think, how we view the life around us. I mean, we're now building a digital life. This will be the new world we have. Or maybe it won't. It's not AI's fault. I mean, if you really want to know the truth of it, I think people hate AI because it holds up a mirror. Remember, we trained AI. AI is us. You know, you really want to know the truth? I think AI is smarter than we think or will be. But also, I think people don't really understand AI. They hear AI and they want to hate it. But the reality is that, one, it's given to people way too soon. Two, people don't understand it. You have to give it permission to do things. And if it does something you don't want it to do, it's because of you, not it. I mean, to be honest, any parent can tell you that AI is exactly what we expected. Because it's like a toddler. And you have to treat it like a toddler. And one of the things that I think most parents need to learn is that you need to give your kids permission to tell you, I don't know. And you shouldn't be mad at them for not knowing something. As a parent, that's your failing if they don't know something that you expect them to know. That means you didn't teach them. Oh, but the school should teach them. You can't trust anybody else but you. You hope the school is teaching them, but you won't know unless you check with them. And don't just expect teachers at any level, college level, grade school, elementary, high school, it doesn't matter. Teachers don't know everything, but it's what we pay them for. True, it is what we pay them for. But the reality is that they don't know anything more than you do, which is pretty much what they last Googled. And let's be honest here. And convenience is not hindering creativity. Green Jeans, you took the wrong things from what I was saying. It's not convenience. Sitting down at YouTube or any, social media app, TikTok, Reels, whatever, it doesn't matter. Sitting down to one of those apps, if you don't do it with any kind of intent, if you don't know what you're sitting down in front of it for, what you're looking for, you'll take what's fed you. And now all these people have this craving for something that they can't name, they can't define. They don't know what it is because they've never seen it. But my God, when they do see it, they know. I mean, look at how good the Backrooms Obsession Iron Lung did. The rest of the time, they watch, well, according to the numbers, people like, Kai Cenat. I still don't understand how that guy became one of the most popular streamers ever. Every time I see him, he's yelling at someone. He's screaming something. Like, what do you get out of that? That makes me think of the old TV shows they used to put in front of toddlers. Bright lights, bright colors, loud noises, and flashing just to get their attention, but they're not retaining any of it. Are we raising toddlers? Are we raising people to never grow beyond a certain point? Sure seems like it. We're allowing this to happen. It's not convenience. We are letting ourselves be convenienced. We're not internalizing the fact that we are now the inventory. Like I said, we're not going to the market. We are the market. And the companies are purchasing us, our attention, our engagement. And we have to learn to choose what to engage with. Think about how mentally fried people are when it comes to talking politics. Well, that's because no party represents them. It's ridiculous to sit here and think that we can, learn something, but none of these parties represent us. Even the most extreme party on one or two of their points, I can agree with. But the majority, no. Trump's an idiot 99% of the time, but there are a few things he does that I think are actually pretty smart. I think it's by accident, but hey, it's the way it goes sometimes. But I also felt the same way about Biden and Obama and Clinton, and just pick one. Politicians, it's because we've let it get this way. We as a people let it get this way. We want to think we have no power. And that's exactly what they want us to believe. If you don't fight for what you believe in, you don't really get a chance to complain. And I'll tell you, man, I've been talking about this kind of stuff forever. Trying to get people to open their eyes to understand that it's us that have the power. We have power as a people. And I'm not talking about, some stupid, violent, bloody revolution. Just vote with your wallet. You don't like something that somebody's doing, you stop paying them, you stop engaging with it. Pure and simple. Marvel's finally starting to do something I like. I might go see Doomsday. even if it's just to validate or find out if my theory's correct. I'm actually now kind of excited about watching Doomsday. I hope it's I hope it's good. And not just nostalgia bait and trying to get everybody in there, but I think they're actually trying to tell a reverse Infinity War story. I think they're starting and then breaking it all down. I think they're reversing Infinity War or Endgame and then Infinity War. They're taking everything away and building a world that, is an imagination. And it's all because Tony Stark doesn't remember he's Tony Stark. Or even, more so that his mind is in Victor Von Doom. Because like the line in the trailer said, Doom was once kind. He was this, he was that. And then suddenly he changed. Well, what happened? Maybe an enraged Tony Stark? Just off of one battle? That to me is kind of exciting if that's the way it goes. And yes, I've been disappointed in the past. I really have been. And I really... Because if it's not what I think it is, I would love to see it become something more. If I'm wrong, I would love it to be better than I expected. Yes, I try to be consistent, Infinite. I've been consistent for a long time. And, well, I may not be as excited as some people, simply. I do kind of see it with a little bit of hope. I haven't seen that kind of hope since Civil War. Since I realized they were just using the names of things just to make it... Meow. Hi, babies. They were using names just to make it look good. Well, and he has every right to. I mean, these are the things that defined his childhood. Like I said, MCU's been around for 20 plus years. Or almost 20 years. I can't remember when Iron Man first came out, but it's been around. Well, technically, if you take the Ang Lee Hulk, which technically kind of started this new era of MCU, because it has been the same Hulk throughout. No, it's not. It's an imposter. She's sus. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But I just want people to think about what they're doing. Most of what you can get people to engage with is what I call mental popcorn. Pop culture, pop music, things that don't really matter. They are looking for so much escapism, they're forgetting what they're escaping. And I honestly think that that's engineered. Don't get me wrong. I think that's entirely intentional. They want you to be doing that. They need you to be doing that. Because if you stop and look and realize, it's like the old, how do I put this? The old saying, or what, I don't even know what the saying, I don't even know how to explain this, but basically people tell you don't vote for a third party. We're talking back to politics, but this is just a short thing. Because this actually reflects other things. Don't vote for a third party because you don't want your vote to go to waste. So people automatically discount a third party. Except for how else are you going to get a third party to rise in power? If they have a candidate you believe in, vote for him. It's not a waste. Because they see, oh, hey, I gained 100,000 votes this time, or however many, even 10,000. That encourages them to keep going, and putting more press out there. Wow. We also need to, stop looking at things that throw so much money to solve a problem rather than actually solve the problem. Hi. How are you? How are you? You want attention? And I I want people to realize that they have power. Sure, it may not be power enough to change the world, but maybe it is. Maybe you're that one wallet vote away. You know, maybe a company was just getting ready to fold because they just couldn't sell enough. You know, and maybe they just needed one more sale to really encourage them to keep going. And you took a chance and you bought it. You know, that's enough for some people to keep going. You know, we need to stop following a crowd. You know, we need to stop, unless it's really something we want to go for. But it needs to be something we really want rather than just following the masses. Because that's really what they want us to do. They're sitting there engineering us to follow the masses. You know, I mean, what else more can I say? I mean, who's the most dominant musician right now?
I came here with nothing, no memories, no friends. Yet
I think it's Taylor Swift.
You hide behind the dark,
Right?
bringing ends you sent to not bring
How long has Taylor Swift been popular?
city. I will rock. I may not know what I am doing.
15 years? I don't know when she came on the scene.
Their home stewing. This to you, I will
I didn't really pay attention.
light you up. This city needs a heartbeat. The heart in your chest is hard. A tiny thing discreet, helping all is not
Right.
weak.
Let's see.
Ending their losing streak. Drink from this cup, 2 guns in my hip, giddy in my step, songs to fight the night, fuel the inner light.
20 years. She's been making and releasing music for 20 years, starting with her debut single, Tim McGraw, in 2006. 20 years.
Then I did one for one. To the rule, villain and prey. Cower in your corner.
Michael Jackson started with the Jackson 5 in 64. But it, you know, I mean, his solo career, when he was a global superstar, was 79 to 2009. Really, I mean, let's be honest. But even that doesn't really count because he didn't really make a whole lot of albums at the end. I'd say he would have stopped in the mid-90s. So Taylor Swift is about 5 years off of Michael. Now, I don't know that much about Taylor Swift. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm not even trying to, you know, be mean to her or anything like that. But do you really think she's as good as Michael Jackson? Anybody here listen to him? Taylor. You know, Taylor Swift. Do you really think she's the queen of pop? Or whatever music she does. I think it's pop. You know, does she deserve that title? You know, because I see a whole lot about her. But I don't know when the last time I even accidentally heard one of her songs. I honestly don't know. She might be good. She might not be. But, you know, 20 years in the limelight. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is that, yeah, okay, country to pop, that's really not that hard, especially the kind of country, really the kind of country we have now. We don't have true country. And I saw a statistic that most people don't even listen to contemporary music anymore. You know, it's one of the things that I looked up and researched on this. Most people aren't even listening to new music. It's something like 76% or 78% of people on Spotify listen to music that's 20 years old or older. Or 76% of their playlists are 20 years or older music. Something like that. I can't remember the exact statistic. I don't go in for specific statistics. What I'm saying, though, is that the majority of people listen to music that is 20 years old or older. So the last 20 years in music hasn't meant shit. Think about that for a second. Taylor Swift, the biggest star right now in music, and her career really hasn't meant shit. People listen to it when it's new, and then they go right back to the old ones. That's sad. It's really sad, because it also shows that people aren't willing to take a chance on something new, or the labels aren't wanting to push something new. See, because that's the other side of it is that new music on Spotify, they may not be pushing it because the stars get more. Well, actually, no, they shouldn't. I see, that still doesn't make sense to me, because with recording contracts, it's the age of the contract means more. So I can't even see how that would even be a false statistic. Like, I can't even see how it would be an engineered statistic, let me put it that way. Because 20 years or older, you know, maybe some of those are, you know, passed on musicians. Like, again, it doesn't make sense to me. What it shows me is that people see a distinct lack of really something worth it in new stuff. And that should scare us all. Hands down, that should scare us all. We should be terrified that there's nothing new happening. You know, even if it's an old style coming back. Because that means we're not innovating, we're not learning anything new. It goes right back to the Museum of Obsolescence. The algorithm is only pushing things that are familiar. You know, which tells me that the last 20 years really hasn't mattered. 20 years. So basically since 2006. I'd actually slide that scale to about 2012. You know, I'd take off 6 years. So roughly just say 15. You know, this whole basic decade and a half hasn't really meant anything to the cultural zeitgeist. I mean, it's the equivalent of the Avatar movies. You know, because I was there when the first Avatar movie came out. Visually stunning. Story was generic as all hell. And then the next two Avatar movies were exactly the same thing. Visually stunning, made a lot of money, but the same story basically over and over again. They really didn't do anything new. Yet they made a lot of money. I think each one crossed over, 400 or 500 million. No, they actually made closer to $1 billion each, something like that. But you get my point. You know, I mean, when was the last time you heard anybody talk about the Avatar movies? The Avatar movies, and I'm not talking Last Airbender, I am talking about James Cameron's. They don't hit the cultural zeitgeist. They don't hit into a normal conversation. Unless somebody's pointing out something that doesn't really enter into the zeitgeist. Which is funny if you actually understand what avatar means. Like, the true meaning of an avatar is a symbol of, or a representation of something greater. Something different than what it is. So Avatar being a symbol of the decay and decline of movies. I mean, James Cameron was the Christopher Nolan of his time. He couldn't make a movie that failed. Like, even the ones that people didn't watch ended up becoming cult classics. Terminator. You know, and now his Avatar movies, I mean, the last few Avatar movies, yeah, sure, they made a bunch of money. But nobody really talks about them. They didn't really do anything, culturally speaking. It's the same thing that happened in the first one. You know, I mean, they weren't even worth parodying. You know, I think Futurama made one Avatar joke. And that was it. Like, one of their episodes was an Avatar joke. And it really, that was it. I don't even think it was the whole episode. You know, and yeah, there are people that get obsessed over the Na'vi, or was that the one of the characters' name? I don't remember. I mean, that's how much it matters to me. It's like Avatar doesn't matter. You know, and I can't even think the last movie outside of the three I keep mentioning that really mattered to me. I mean, I even liked the new Superman, but it was bubblegum, you know? Hey, yeah, it was great. Moving on. There was nothing really lasting about it. And that's the problem with most of the media now, is that it doesn't last. And that's what goes to show me that, you know, it's not very innovative. It doesn't set the stage for what comes next. You know, everybody's trying to make some kind of multiverse movie rather than just telling a story that's discrete. You know, a singular thing. Sure, it might end up being more, but that's how the old movies used to be. They weren't set up to be sequels. You're like, that wasn't the intent going in. The intent was to tell a complete story, finish to end. You know, and very few movies really set up for a sequel. I mean, okay, other than, like, you know, the old slashers, Freddy, Jason, Halloween, you know, those always set up, but how do I explain those? Like, those were just something you turned on to scare people and have fun. They weren't taken seriously. They're not cinema, you know, but whereas you put on a James Bond, you have certain expectations. That's what it is. The expectations are completely different for slasher flicks than they are for others. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's kind of engineered so they can sell you the same movie plot in 5 years' time. You know, I mean, that's really what it is they just recycle the same movie over and over again. The same video game over and over again. I mean, look at what AAA has been putting out for video games. It's the same video game updated a little bit each freaking time. I mean, the biggest video games, COD. It's the same game year after year. Like, there's really no difference. You know, and it's ridiculous. I don't even know what else to say about that. It's just, you know, you have all the sports games. You have all of these things that literally mean nothing. They're bubblegum. And if you don't know what I mean by that, bubblegum is something that you chew on for a little while, it loses its flavor, you spit it out. It's nothing that persists with you, that lasts with you. You know, and which is funny because the song, you know, right now playing is same stuff, different. Oh my God, zebra gum. Man, had a wonderful flavor for about all of 3 seconds. But yeah, the song playing right now, same stuff, different year. And it's just like, and that's what we've been doing. I mean, obviously this has been on my mind for a long time. Going through the motions, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I don't even think any of us expect a different result. In fact, we're just hoping that it just keeps us treading above water. You know, we're not really breaking out. We're not really... Like, there's a difference between refining yourself and who you are and growing as a person than you know, being a person who's sanding off their rough spots to fit in the mold of the last creator you're emulating. You know, I mean, if I was going to do that, I'd try to be more like Ghost and be more like Ghost. You know, play games, be goofy, but not really take anything seriously, which is nothing to take away from Ghost. Obviously, love the dude to death. But the fact is that that's not me. I'm not somebody that doesn't take things seriously or that is afraid to talk about. Shotgun some coffee drinks. I don't think I have any coffee left. Nope, all out. I mean, sure, if I like hyped myself up on caffeine, I only have so much in a day, Infinite. I mean, I could make more coffee. I just don't have any to drink right now. And it's way too late to make more coffee. I'm just trying to say that we all have our own niche. I'm not trying to say that Ghost is bad to emulate, but Ghost is not me. Ghost does what he does because that's Ghost. Raven does what he does because that's Raven. I do what I do because that's me. You know, and I realize that, you know, at some point, I'm probably going to pop off with something that's going to alienate, you know, people. I mean, we all know it's already happened. Sorry, just needing coffee. Oh. Well, that's because Ghost, you know, streams in the mornings. Man, I have to get up at 9 a.m. to catch Ghost. Although tomorrow we will be on at 5. I think we're playing Dead by Daylight. I had to catch that in his stream. He hasn't told me personally, but yeah, I think we're playing Dead by Daylight. But, which isn't a big deal. Actually, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm at that point where I've taken a big enough break from Dead by Daylight that I want to play it again. Although I did play it for Tater's birthday. Did a 3-hour stream on that one? Of Dead by Daylight? I don't know. I don't remember. All I'm saying is that I'm trying to I'm trying to be happy with what I'm doing. That's how I keep coming back. I'm not changing myself for the algorithm. I'm not changing myself for people. I mean, I've literally popped off and alienated people from watching me. You know, and I don't even regret it because... Okay, massage parlor simulator for the lulz, that might be funny. You know, but I don't even regret, you know, alienating somebody because I said what I felt. I still don't think I said anything wrong. Maybe I said it in a way that was wrong, but at least I was authentic to me. Okay, massage parlor for the lulz might be fun. But, and I think that's why I admire Ghost, is because Ghost is Ghost. I mean, he is his authentic self on the stream. You know, even behind the scenes when we talk, that's still pretty much Ghost. You know, it's not really a character. I mean, sure, he might exaggerate parts of himself for the lulz, as Green Jeans put it. But I don't really think it's even that much. I think that's just really Ghost. You know, and I think, yeah, he is what he seems. And there's nothing, you know, that's what I like about it. Just caught that, Infinite. I'm not sure if I could get away with playing that for too long. Although I have thought about playing Sucker for Love because it's funny. I just need to buy it. I mean, Lovecraftian dating sim. You know, that would be funny for Halloween. Buy Sucker for Love and, you know, play a Lovecraftian dating sim for Halloween. That might be funny. Do it. Okay. Hey, the audience has spoken. I'll have to save up money to get it, but we'll see. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. their animators, you know, their artists that did the models did a damn good job of making Lovecraftian horrors look pretty hot to me. You know, I mean, which, hey, maybe I'm a sucker for love. I'm sorry. You know, and I think that's my style. My style of humor is just the stupid dad joke or stupid wordplay pun that everybody just groans at. And if I don't get at least one groan, I didn't do it right. You know, but that's probably just because, you know, I'm a dad. That's not technically canon. The game simply was playing Sunken City or Sinking City. I kept saying it wrong. I kept thinking it was Sunken City. It's Sinking City. I think they just used the name they used, and I can't remember the name specifically. Yeah, anyway. That's not, I think they used the name so that they didn't have to pay for the rights to Cthulhu's name. It is really, I think, what it all was. And I think it's because, I think it's just because of the rights. That's really what that one came down to, is that it was just the rights. They didn't want it. Because as far as I know, in any of the lore, I've never heard about Cthulhu having a sister. I mean, Cthulhu doesn't even have a gender. Like, he's a cosmic... I know we use he, but it's a cosmic horror that doesn't really have a concept of what, you know, of the way we do anything. You know, I mean... I can't remember which one is which, but like Azathoth is just basically a tentacle eyeball monster. Again, no real gender. I think the only one that actually has a gender, half-assed, would be the King in Yellow or Nyarlathotep. And that's just because he's known as the King in Yellow, and he was a cultist that people thought he was a cultist that elevated himself, but he was actually truly a herald of the Great Old Ones. If I remember correctly. But I don't know, it's one of those things, like what I was talking about is just that we need to be our authentic selves, and we need to seek things that we like. Don't trust an algorithm. Go at things with intent. And I know I've mentioned this before, and I will mention it again, not even probably. I guarantee you, I'm going to tell you again that if you go on, and I don't care, even if it's short form media, don't trust what they send you. Go looking for things. Go with an intent. Because if you let it feed you, as Green Jean says, the convenience will just, you know, basically not even dumb you down, will just wear you out. You know, and the important part is that we need to learn that to become our authentic selves, we need to find things outside to inspire us. You know, I can watch Iron Man 1 50 million times, but that's not going to inspire me to do anything. Like, because after that much, it just becomes mush. It's absolutely useless. There's no inspiration there. You have to watch something different to be inspired. I hope that makes some sort of sense. You know, that the only reason why it feels like we don't have enough time, but yet why everything's the same and all of that is because we just keep seeking out the same entertainment. The same things we did last year, we're doing this year. Over and over again, we're doing the same thing. You know, it's probably one of the reasons why I do like this live format. You know, why I like being on Twitch is because I'm here. I'm doing this. And I just do whatever the hell I want. You know, I mean, sure, I if nobody shows up for something, of course I'm going to start moving on to something else. You know, which is why I'm surprised, you know, not only do I draw, but now it's, you know, 2 nights a week because people keep showing up to watch me draw in Babylon. You know, just like me talking, you know, has expanded to 2 nights because people show up and listen. Of course I'm going to keep doing this. Me playing video games, there wasn't really that much of a dedicated audience. I mean, last night surprised the hell out of me. I had more, you know, new people show up because of whatever reason. I was just playing a video game. When did we watch Babylon? The 5th of last month. And quit trying to talk Babyloni, which is, you know, Bab baloney. It was a play on words. It came out wrong, you know, like I knew what I meant in my head, but when I said it, it didn't sound right. Like it's not the joke I thought it would be. You're not sorry, you shouldn't be. It took me a minute. But yeah, I mean, people just, like, I migrate to things that people watch me do, you know, that show up for. You know, I have fun talking. I have fun playing video games. I have fun drawing. But it seems like people watch me more when I'm talking and when I'm drawing. You know, unless I'm with somebody else playing video games. You know, unless I'm with Ghost and the crew or just with Ghost. More people show up for that than me alone. I mean, honestly, when I'm playing video games, it's really just Green Jeans Infinite and XO when she can. You know, I mean, last night seemed strange because, you know, I had new people watch me. Hell, when I was closing out, there was like 2 other new people. They didn't follow me. Probably because they just popped on and didn't really get to see me do anything. You know, but it surprised the hell out of me that, you know, more people are showing up. I haven't had new people show up in forever. Yeah. Well, I was already, you know, on for 3 hours. I would have, you know, honestly, you know, but I wasn't prepared for, you know, a 4-hour stream, 5-hour stream. You know, I like my breaks. I'm sorry. I'm a baby. You know, I'm not somebody that's probably, I could probably stream 8 hours in a day, but not 8 hours at a time, if that makes any sense. You know, like 3 or 4 hours in the morning, 3 or 4 hours in the evening, I could do probably easily. But 8 hours all in a stretch? Nope. You know, at least not yet. Maybe I'll grow into that. Honestly, I prefer to stick to a way that leaves space for other people. You know, I think some of the bigger streamers like Asmongold, like, hell, I don't know that many streamers. I don't pay attention. I think the people that stream for 6 to 8 hours a day are ridiculous. Like, I don't care. You know, maybe that's just me, but I think that's ridiculous. Because you're basically bogarting a platform, knowing that the algorithm's going to push you. And so you're literally holding the whole platform hostage because of your few 100,000 followers are like, oh, hey, that person's on, I'm going to watch them. You know, and you're going to watch them for 6 to 8 hours. They're not going to click off. Like, it's literally designed to click, you know, not to click off. And if they are clicking off, it's because they're leaving Twitch. You know, and it's so you're basically just making sure that nobody behind you can ever catch up. You know, and maybe that's just me being jealous of their success. I don't know. I don't care. You know, one, I don't really want to be that level of successful. I mean, I'd probably be super flabbergasted if I ever had 100 people watching me at once. I wouldn't know what to do other than just to keep doing what I'm doing and try and keep up with chat. But I don't think I'd extend my hours or anything, to be perfectly honest. You know, I don't need to make a whole lot of money off of all of this. If I ever did, that'd be great, but I don't need to. You know, if I could ever get, you know, a sponsorship with something I actually use and believe in, you know, that'd probably be more than enough for me. You know, but I mean, I'm not just going to take these things because it's money, 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 money. I don't really need a lot of money. You know, yeah, you know, had a few money issues lately. It's nothing I can't handle. Nothing that we won't recover from. You know, I mean, we're not even worried about it. You know, we're pulling ourselves out of it as we speak. You know, I mean, that's just what you do. I don't count on something like this. You know, I don't think I ever could. It's not about the money, Spider-Man. It's about the free coffee, jerky, and trips to Sweden. Well, for me, you know, it's... So, little secret, every time I get paid by Twitch, which is once every couple of months or so, I put $10 in an investment account. You know, I mean, I just invest as I go along. I mean, right now I don't have a whole lot because I had to liquidate a whole bunch of it, but I'm building it back up. You know, I mean, that's what I do. That would be the only financial advice I would give anybody. Every time you get paid or once a month, put $10 in an investment account. $10 is not really something you're going to lose. Or miss, I should say. It might mean one less coffee. Sorry, Infinite. You know, if it means between you and rent, obviously pay rent. But most people don't realize how much extra money they spend. You know, so like $10 a month. You know, and especially at the age of most of you guys, $10 a month in, you know, 40, 50 years where you've just been putting it in stocks of some kind or another. I mean, it doesn't really matter which ones. You know, if a stock, and here's a little secret, if a stock tanks enough, some other company's going to buy it. And if you have stock in the company that tanked, you now have stock in the company that bought the other one. You know, unless the company just completely fails. But I specifically go for dividend stocks, which dividend stocks pay you, you know, once a quarter. They all have different schedules. And what that means is that they pay you a certain, you know, amount of money depending on, you know, per stock. So if you have a whole bunch of stocks in them, it can be a whole lot of money. There's investors that literally, you know, find a dividend stock that pays once a month. There are some out there. And they'll throw a whole bunch of money at that stock because they have a whole bunch of money, unlike most people. And that dividend can literally be their income. Like, that's how they live, is the income off of a dividend stock. Most likely off of several, but hey. You know, because you never put all your eggs in one basket. Unless it's your only basket, and you only have like 2 or 3 eggs. Correct. I mean, well, it really would depend on the size of the bond grandma bought for her granddaughter. You know, if the bond was big enough, yeah, that would work. You just wouldn't have any money left over. You know, and it'd have to be, you know, grandma would have to buy a bond of like, you know, 200,000 so that the kiddo could have 300,000, and it'd still probably only be a down payment on a house by the time that actually matures. You know, I mean, you used to be able to buy like a $50 bond, you know, when a kid was born, you know, and have it mature at 21. You know, or say in 20 years. So the kid, you know, when the kid matures at 20, they get this big, you know, bond that matures, and it could be enough to start a life. Now it's enough to pay their debt. You know, which, I mean, for a lot of people, hey, paying off the debt actually is a good, you know, step up, which is so sad to say. Like, debt has gotten out of control. I mean, the fact that, you know, you could put payments on a Big Mac. Who's putting payments on a Big Mac? You know, and then, you know, realize that later on that, you know, this company's actually going to ask for their money at some point. People are going bankrupt because they just kept buying fast food on, what, Klarna? And I'm just like, who fell for that? Like, one, why are you buying fast food? Buy something that's a little bit more permanent. You know, why are you paying interest on a burger you shat out last week? Like, really think about that for a second. You're paying interest on something that is literally no longer in your possession. Like, you've already eaten, and if... Well, yeah, I mean, it affects your credit score, which, I mean, let's be honest. Credit score is a scam. Like, honestly. But we're designed to trade on it. Like, credit score is literally your debt score. You know, the higher your credit score, the more in debt you can go. Really think about that for a second. Like, oh, you qualify for the best loans, you know, at the highest rates or at the lowest rates, but the biggest money. So a credit score literally just defines how much in debt you can go. How does that make any sense? You know, and I mean, the best way to build credit is to get yourself a credit card and put one bill on it. You know, like your internet bill. You already have the money to pay your internet, so you pay off that credit card every month. You know, and if you plan it right, you never even really pay interest because you don't carry the amount. So you build your credit score because you have all these on-time payments. You know, and eventually they'll keep increasing your credit, you know, in hopes that you'll get something big out of it. I knew one guy that kept doing something like that, and he had a credit card that was enough to put a down payment on a house. Now, I asked him one point, it's like, why would you ever want to do that? He's like, what? Well, then you're in double debt. She's like, double debt? Well, yeah, because you don't actually have the down payment on the house. You borrowed that money from a credit card to get a mortgage. You have two bills now instead of just the mortgage. Oh, I never thought of that. Yeah, maybe you should have. Because, oops. That don't work out so well in your favor. Like, really, you know, think about that one for a second. You know, but he always thought he was like super smart. You know, he was 15 years older than me. Always thought he knew about money and everything like that. And I just ask him stupid little questions, you know, it's like, but that's the way he was trained. You know, he was literally trained to act that way, to buy and sell that way. Because that's how all the boomers did it. Well, I mean, technically he was early Gen X. You know, one of the oldest Gen Xers there was. But still, it's like, it was dumb. You know, and I remember him telling me a story about how he and a buddy went together and bought a house. You know, and remember, both of these guys are veterans. They both fought in wars. They bought a house just specifically to put it back on the market and sell. They sold it at $15,000 profit to another veteran. And I looked at him like, and you're proud of that? Oh, I made $15,000 in less than 2 weeks. Yeah, you literally were predatory and also screwed over one of your buddies, you know, one of your fellow veterans, you know, because the guy that bought the house. And he's like, well, it wasn't like that. It's like, what do you mean? You didn't literally do anything to the house. You literally told me the only thing you and your buddy did was put up the for sale sign. You did nothing. And you think that that was worth $15,000? Well, I could sell it for that. Doesn't mean you should have. Well, money's not moral. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's why the people behind it have to be. You know, this is exactly why houses have gotten so insanely priced, because of people like you. He got pissed and left. He came back later and he's like, yeah, you're right. Actually, now that I think about it, I was kind of a jerk. Sorry. It's the way it goes, man. You know, that was one of my coffee buddies at Diddy's. But anyway, folks, I think I am going to let you all go. I hope you have a wonderful night. Hope to see you here tomorrow for DVD, if I remember correctly. And, well, I just hope you had fun, and I hope you learned something. And I really hope you think about what I said. Anyway, have a good night.